All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're digging into a really fascinating report from the research firm Virtualization Options LLC, and it's got a bit of a twist. It's all about how a decades-old IT framework, ITIL, isn't being pushed aside by AI. Nope. Turns out, it might just be the secret ingredient to making AI actually work in the enterprise.
So let's just get it out there. This is the big question, right? We've got this framework, ITIL, that's been around for like 40 years. Is it just old news in the age of AI? Well, get this. The answer is a hard no. In fact, what the data is showing us is that it might be more critical now than ever before if you actually want to succeed with AI.
So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we're going to bust that myth that ITIL is obsolete. Then, we'll get into the amazing synergy between the two. After that, we'll look at some real-world examples with the numbers to back it up, and we'll wrap up with a simple roadmap you can actually use.
Okay, so to really get why these two work so well together, you gotta first see what happens when they don't. Because honestly, when you try to use AI or ITL by themselves, they both have some pretty big problems. It's this classic dilemma of going it alone.
And here's what that dilemma looks like. On one hand, you've got ITIL all by itself. Yeah, it's structured, it's organized, but it can be really slow, it's manual, reactive, and you're always limited by how fast a person can work. Then you've got the other side, AI without ITIL. And I love this analogy. It's like having a Ferrari with no steering wheel. It's got all this power, but with no governance, no rules, you get chaos. You get inconsistent results, and you can just forget about trying to scale it.
So what's the answer here? Well, the good news is you don't have to pick one. The real magic, the breakthrough, happens when you bring them together. Think of it like this. One gives you the roadmap, and the other provides the engine.
So, ITIL. That's your roadmap. It's the battle-tested, structured plan for how you design, manage, and govern your IT services. It's what gives you consistency. It's what makes sure everyone's accountable, and that what you're doing actually lines up with what the business needs.
And if ITIL is drawing the map, then AI is the supercharged engine that gets you there fast. It's the thing that automates all the tedious tasks, gives you those smart insights, and just executes on all those well-planned processes with a speed you just can't get with people alone.
And that's the synergy we're talking about. This is the big idea. It's not just 1 + 1 = 2. It's more like a multiplier effect. You're taking the rock-solid reliability of ITIL and just supercharging it with the raw speed and intelligence of AI. Okay, so that all sounds good in theory, right? But what does it actually look like when you put it into practice? Let's get specific and see how AI can plug right into the core of the modern ITIL 4 framework, the service value chain. So this right here, this is basically the engine room of ITIL 4, the service value chain. It's these 6 key activities that an organization does to deliver value. Now, AI can make every single one of these better, but let's just zoom in on 3 really powerful examples to see what I mean.
First up, engage. This is all about how you interact with your users, your customers. And this is where AI can make a huge, immediate difference. You've got AI chatbots giving people help 24/7. You've got sentiment analysis that can literally detect when a user's getting frustrated and loop in a human, and virtual assistants that can walk people through complicated stuff step by step.
Okay, now how about design and transition? This is all about managing change, and honestly, this is where it gets really cool. Instead of just crossing your fingers and hoping a new update doesn't break everything, you can use machine learning to predict the impact of that change before you deploy it. Think about that. You're massively cutting down the risk of causing your own outages.
And then there's deliver and support. Here, AI just completely flips the script. You go from being reactive, waiting for things to break, to being proactive. You have anomaly detection that can spot a problem before a single user even knows something's wrong. The AI can look at tons of historical data to suggest the right fix, and it can even predict when a piece of hardware is about to fail. It's a total game changer.
All right, I know what you're thinking. This sounds amazing, but is it real? Does this stuff actually work in the real world? Well, let's look at the numbers. Let's see the results from companies that have actually done this.
Okay, let's start with something everyone in IT knows and loves: password resets. They're constant. They're time-consuming. Now, what if you could just make most of them go away? The data shows that organizations using this AI ITIL combo have automated, get this, 78% of them. Just imagine how much time that frees up for your team to work on the hard stuff, the things that actually need a human brain.
Let's talk about stability, which is huge. Every time you roll out a new patch or an update, there's always that risk, right? Well, by using AI to predict what's going to happen before you push the button, companies have seen a 43% drop in incidents caused by changes. That's massive. That's the difference between a smooth rollout and a weekend spent fixing things.
And look, no matter how good you are, things are eventually going to break. When they do, it's all about speed. For those really tricky, complex problems, AI can churn through years of old tickets and logs to find the root cause in minutes. And the result? A 62% reduction in mean time to resolution. You're getting the business back on its feet in less than half the time. That's just incredible.
And if you want to see how this all comes together, just look at this case study from OCBC Bank. They rolled out a generative AI assistant, and the results were just fantastic. We're talking nearly 1,000 employees getting a huge productivity boost. 72% of them said things got better. Their engineers became 20 to 30% more efficient. And why? Because all that crucial knowledge they needed was just there, instantly, any time of day or night.
So, the proof is pretty much in the pudding, right? The evidence is really compelling. So the next question is obvious. Okay, I'm sold. How do I actually start? And the best part is, there's a really clear, simple path you can follow.
The report breaks it down into this simple, 4-step roadmap. Step 1 is assess. You got to know where you're starting from. How mature are your ITIL processes? Are you even ready for AI? Step 2, define. Be smart about your goals. What business problem are you actually trying to solve? Then, step 3 is pilot. Pick something that's high impact but low risk. You want to get a quick win on the board. And finally, step 4, use that success to integrate, scale, and improve. It's a cycle.
There's a quote in the source material that just sums this whole thing up perfectly. It basically says that the companies having the most success with AI are the ones who use ITIL structure to guide them, while at the same time embracing everything AI can do. It's not one or the other, it's both.
So when you boil it all down, ITIL isn't this old thing holding you back from AI. It's the launchpad. It's what gives you the guardrails, the safety, the governance you need to take all that raw, crazy potential of AI and turn it into something that creates real value for your business. The path forward is clear. So the real question isn't how, it's, are you ready to be the one to lead this transformation?